He is now merged with a dream. He hasn't the slightest idea that this is a dream. He wakes in the morning and said, "I had the most wonderful dream last night." While he was dreaming, it was to him a reality. He wakes and he reflects, and it isn't real, it's subjective, and this is real. He doesn't realize he is now once more and merged in this section of time. And so his dream is simply something that is subjective and unreal. While he was experiencing the dream, it was objective and real. If he would only realize the deep of his own being, which is his own wonderful human imagination, is trying to instruct him, trying to persuade him, trying to get him aroused. And it is coming, as my friend's dream of the other night, that it starts from the center, and it's working toward the surface. It takes a while for the dreamer in man to awake, to reach that surface. While he is moving towards the surface, he is influencing the surface, your being. When he arrives on the surface, you and he are one. There aren't two, only one. But while he is moving towards the surface, he is stirring man to question the reality of the world in which he lives. If a lady can go back 61 years at all, without loss of identity, we are still one being. We are the brothers, collectively forming the Lord. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, a compound unity, one made up of others. And as we move forward to the climax of this, which is He wakes in me, you will see it. There is a certain definite plan by which He awakes in man, and when He awakes in man, all are one. Only the one Lord. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Deuteronomy 6:4. And that Lord is in us as our own wonderful human imagination, dreaming this world in which we find ourselves. Now here is one. It's a precious one. This gentleman and I attended a concert this past week, and during intermission he began to tell me his dream till something diverted him, and the dream was unfinished. So he writes it. "Do you live?" He said, "Come and see." And so they went with him, and they stayed with him because it was the 10th hour. Now in the mysteries, 4, whether it be AM or PM, is the 10th hour. We count the day beginning with 6 and go through to 6, and count the night from 6 to 6. You can break it into 6, what is known as watches of the day and night. 3 in the day, 4-hour watches, and 3 in the night, 4-hour watches. Or you can take it by the hour and you start at 6. At 4 o'clock, you have the 10th hour. Now this is all symbolism. 10 does not mean it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It is that moment in time when the creative power of God is being explained. 10 is the letter that begins the name of God, Yod. It's Yod, He, Vav, He. 10 is the 10th letter with the numerical value of 10 and the symbol of a hand, the creative hand of God. And so here, Yod means the hand, the creative hand. Man is separated from the entire world by reason of a hand. What looks like a hand in the monkey, the ape, is not a hand. It conveys food to the mouth and swings from limb to limb, but it can't fashion, it can't make, it can't create. Remove a hand from man, you have just an intelligent monkey. That's all it would be. But give a man a hand, and you have a creator. You have one formed in the image of his Father, that is God. And so here, the creative power is being revealed to you. It was that seemed to me about an hour. I looked at my watch again. It was still 4:10, and I concluded that my watch had stopped. And then I awoke to find I didn't have my watch on me. It wasn't 4:10 in the morning and my watch was elsewhere. But here was the vivid experience of a duplicate dream. And we're told in Scripture, if the dream repeats itself, it means that the thing is fixed, and the Lord shall bring it to pass, and bring it to pass shortly. So here, the creative power is unfolding in him. Now he knows his own wonderful human imagination is this power. It is God. That is the grand I amness in man, and all things are possible to God. Now the challenge is his. Let him take it now. Whatever he wants, he just simply is. Whatever you want, is. The thing is now to adjust to it, to adjust to that state until the dream becomes so alive within you, it objectifies itself in this world. For my subjective dream, when I'm having it, is objective. This, had I reflected upon this while I had a dream last night, this would have been subjective. When I awaken in this, and I am once more merged in this section of the dream, this seems the only reality. I fall asleep and take this off, and I am merged in another section of the dream, and that seems the only reality. So what is the reality? The whole vast world is all finished, and you and I are merged in a dream, and we are waking from the dream. The day will come. I hope it isn't far. I know in his case and in the lady's case she's finished the race. For she could not have heard these words. Here, it's not even what is called the sleeping dream. This is the waking dream. She's watching fish, the symbol of the Christians of the world. There were many fish, and the fish has always symbolized Christians, those who accepted the gospel of salvation. So they are calling upon themselves to awaken, rather than calling upon a God other than themselves to awaken. So in the Old Testament, Sis 44:23, we have, "Rouse thyself. Why sleepest thou, O God? Do not cast us off forever. Awake." In the New, we find, "Awake, you sleeper, and rise from the dead." F. 5:14. The address now is to man. In the Old, it was to God. Now God becomes man that man may become God. So as man, the plea now is to man to awaken. Well, you'll find who he is. As you begin to test the creative power, you'll find who you are. And with all of these passages of Scripture coming to you in audible form, you'll find yourself moving into the complete fulfillment of the story of Jesus Christ. Everyone will, because everyone here has kept the faith. No one walking the face of the earth has broken it. If you had broken it, you would not be here. But no one comes down and violates that agreement. You and I agreed in the beginning to dream in concert, and we entered death's door, the human skull, and came into the world of death. And here we remain in the world of death, dreaming this dream of strife, Shelley. So we are still lost in it, until we awaken from the dream of life, which is in the world of death. So here, he dreams in me, and I can catch him any time if I am alert. For he steals into my conscious mind, least disguised in the form of creative fancy. I sit down and I think of a friend, and I catch this wonderful moving being acting in me, making mental images of my friend. And there I catch him, his creative act. For the God of the universe is really one with your own wonderful human imagination, and he works in the depths of all of us, underlying all of our faculties, including perception. Then suddenly you find him moving into the surface mind in the form of creative fancy. When you actually think of someone and you're going to paint what you see, yet you see it so vividly. And this is how you catch him and discover who God really is, all in you. Now, if I can take a mere wish tonight, just a wish, and if I can form it in my mind's eye as the wish fulfilled, and then as I contemplate it, merge with my wish fulfilled and lose myself completely in it. And then, while I am in it, it is taking on objective tones and all the sensory tones of reality, so it seems now to be the only reality. Then I break it and return once more, merged in this section of the dream, and reflect upon it. And then I know exactly what I did. Now, formerly, I would have said, oh, well, that was just a wonderful, vivid experience, like a dream or some grand hallucination. But having experienced how it works, I am confident that no power on earth or in the universe can stop it from objectifying. And so I rest in confidence it will objectify. Now I keep the Sabbath. I enter the seventh day. For that was my sixth day, my creative act. And when I come out knowing what I did, and I judged it good and very good, then I keep the Sabbath. and therefore I do not labor to add to it or take from it. It's going to happen just as I judged it as good and very good. When it comes into the world and once more forms itself within, well then, if it's radiating from within me, I've got to find him. For the world now is simply radiating from within. Well, if something is radiating from within me, I've got to find that something. Now, it's a person, we are told. For you're told, among you stands one whom you do not know. It's not an impersonal force, it's a person. Well, I must find the person in me. Well, then I experiment, and finally I find that he's myself. This is not another. I am a person, and I find what I do, and I see what results are. Well then, I have found him. So I found him of whom Moses and the law and the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. Found him, so he isn't another at all. The Christ in you is the hope of glory. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? That's what the apostle asks him in the 13th chapter of 2 Corinthians, verse 5. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? Well, ask that of anyone in the world. And if they're brutally honest with themselves, the chances are, if they had not experienced it, they will tell you, no, I don't know that at all. I have read it in the Bible and I've heard it from the pulpit, but I'm quite sure my minister doesn't know it. I'm quite sure that the so-called holy man doesn't know him, and so why should I know him? I do not know that he's in me at all. Yet here are the words, a challenge. Do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? Well then, if he's in me, and this is the one spoken of, the one who radiates from within me of whom I am unaware, well then, let me find him. And if by him all things are made, and without him not anything made that is made, even the bad. And so I will find him, even if it's the bad. Because the Maker discovers himself even in what is made in some strange, ugly manner. If I made it, I could find the Maker. So make some horrible thing in my world, and let me find the Maker. For there's only one Maker. For if by him all things are made, well then, I'm going to find him. And so, what caused my awful day, my awful month, my awful year? And let me be brutally honest with myself and search to find that all the things that happened are related to my imaginal act. It all comes back to myself. Well then, I have found him. And because he's a person and I'm a person, then I know exactly who he is and walk with my head up now, knowing that I learned from my mistakes. So from now on, I will now try to imagine, to the best of my ability, the best as I conceive the best, knowing that these things must project themselves in this world, until that end when I awaken completely and rejoin the brothers. For we are all brothers. I am not a God afar off. I'm a brother and a friend. Within your bosoms I reside, and you reside in me. Lo, we are one, forgiving all evil and seeking no recompense. For if we are one, why would I make an aspect of myself suffer by demanding recompense? Would I not forgive all? And then the cry on the cross, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Luke 23:34. So here I tell you, the God that men worship dreams in man as man's own wonderful human imagination. And test it. Just put him to the test. Conceive a scene implying the fulfillment of your dream, and to the best of your ability, merge with it. Merge right in. If you succeed in merging, do you know it will become objective? Before it is seen in this section of time, it will become objective to you as though it were here. When you break the spell, as it were, it will be to you as a vivid dream is. But you know what you did, and you will wait in confidence, and it will happen here too, to be shared with others. They may believe you or not believe you. Does it really matter? You can tell them, because we are all one. So you're simply telling everyone what you did. Some will believe it and some won't believe it. That is the eternal story. Now let us go into the silence.